Well, let me just say to my colleague from North Dakota, we'd like to have more of North Dakota's energy in South Dakota, of course, have some of the direct benefit from that. But we do really focus in our state on jobs. And that's what this is all about. Jobs, jobs, jobs. The President's own State Department says that this project would support 42,000 jobs, 16,100 direct jobs, including construction, and the other 26,000 jobs resulting from indirect spending. That's not us. That's not the senator from North Dakota, the senator from Texas, the senator from Oklahoma, the senator from Missouri on this side saying that it would create jobs. That's the President's own State Department saying that it would create jobs. $2 billion in earnings, $3.4 billion contribution to the U.S. economy. And you think about the states that are impacted. The state of North Dakota, of course, directly. My state of South Dakota would be traversed by the pipeline. But we've got a lot of local governments, state governments would benefit from this. They say in the first year of operations it would generate $55.6 million in tax revenue, $17.9 million in my state of South Dakota, which means that when you talk about what that can do in terms of infrastructure, what it can do in terms of providing to build schools, public services, those sorts of things, it takes the pressure off the local property tax owners, area ranchers, homeowners, businesses. That's another impact of this. Mr. President, I would also say, and to my colleagues here on the floor, that it will strengthen our energy security. 830,000 barrels a day would come through that pipeline. That's half of what we import from the Middle East and about totally what we import on a daily basis from Venezuela. So you look at how much we can ship through that pipeline and how much that lessens the dependence that we have upon areas of the world that are much less favorable to the United States than is our neighbor Canada. That's a very real consideration in this debate. And finally, I would say to my colleagues and the senator from North Dakota, and I thank him for his leadership on this issue, that the time to act is now. This has been studied and scrutinized and reviewed more than any project in history. 5.5 years, 2,048 days as of Tuesday, today, April 29th. 5 environmental reviews, all have concluded the pipeline would not have a significant impact on the environment. And just when you thought that the process couldn't be dragged out any longer, this administration has once again decided to block construction of this project and delay the national interest determination process. Sean McGarvey, president of North America's Building Trades Union, called this latest move, and I quote, "a cold, hard slap in the face for hardworking Americans who are literally waiting for President Obama's approval and the tens of thousands of jobs it will generate," end quote. That comes from a labor union leader in this country. The unions want it, businesses in this country want it, the American people want it by overwhelming margins. The only people that don't want it are some of the President's political supporters who, as the senator from Alabama has pointed out, are expending hundreds of millions of dollars, tens of millions of dollars, one quote, $100 million, as the senator from Alabama pointed out. That's what's holding this up. It is an offense to the American people to have a project like this that could do so much in terms of job creation and lessening our dependence upon foreign sources of energy, and to help the millions of Americans who are looking for work, and simply having it being held up by the President of the United States. I hope the Senate, Republicans and Democrats, will join together and to support legislation that will force this pipeline to be built, whether the President agrees to it or not. I yield the floor.